Okay, so here we go with the June 2015 non-calculated paper, level 2. To pick a mix, Jim spends £1.36 on fudge and 68p on gobstoppers. How much does Jim spend altogether at the pick a mix? So, we've got to add them together, £1.36, and we've got to make sure they're in the same unit, so 68p, 0.68, adding those together, so we line up decimal points, 14, 6 and 3 is, and 1 is 10, it's £2 and 4 pence. 45 people can sit on one coach. How many of these people can sit in 13 coaches? So 45 times by 13. So this is the kind of old school way of doing it. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. We're multiplying by 10 now, so we put a 0 down. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 4 is 4. And then we add those bits together. 8, 5, so we get 585. I will show you kind of my, I suppose, preferred method, because it kind of makes sense. We split 40 into 14, 5, that into 10 and 3, and we multiply the bits together. 10 times 4 is 400, 10 times 5 is 50, 120, 15, and then we've got a slightly longer but slightly easier addition to do. 5, 7, 8, 5, and we get the same answer. There we go. So you can pick your method there. Okay, Sarah pays £168 per year to be a member of her local tennis club. As she pays this in 12 equal monthly instalments. How much does Sarah pay each month? So we want to see how many 12s go into 168. So there we go, 12s into 168. 12s into 1 don't go, 12s into 16 go 1, remainder 4. 12s into 48 go 4. And then we have it 14. 2 meals in a restaurant cost £23.58 altogether. One meal costs £12.95. How much did the other one cost? So, little subtraction. Again, line up the decimal points. We could take 13 off and add 5 pence. But let's do it like this. 8 take away 5 is 3. 5 take away 9 we can't do. So we borrow on from here. 15 take away 9 is 6, 2 take away 2 is 0, 2 take away 1 is 10, make sure the decimal points are lined up, £10.63. Okay, here's a recipe for making 8 cherry buns. Find the ingredients required for making 12. So we want 8 and then we want 4 more, so 4 more is going to be half the amount, so let's do that. So that's going to be 100, 100, 1, 125 and 75, and then let's add those together. So 200 and 100 is 300, 300, 3, 375 and 225. Claire makes 20 cherry buns. The ingredients cost £8.75. She charges 65p for each cherry bun and sells them all. How much profit did she make altogether? So we can either do this on 20. Let's try. So she charges 65. So she gets 20 lots of 65 back. That's probably the easiest way to do it. So 20 times 65, so 65 times by 20. I can probably do that in my head. 65 times 2 is 130 plus a 0. So that's the profit. The money she gets. We technically could call that the turnover, the amount of money she gets in. £13. So £13, and then minus £8.75. And again, I think I can do that in my head. So 25p to £9, and then there's £4 left, so it's £4.25. Okay, work out this. So they want you to do bid mass in order, brackets, indices, division and multiplication, addition and subtraction. Okay, so these ones we do left to right. So 3 plus 2 times 4 squared. So that's 3 plus 2 times the indices first, 16. Multiplication next. So 3 plus 32 is 35. And then finally here we've got to do the brackets. So 2 minus 11 plus 13. And we just work left to right, so we get minus 9 plus 13, which is 4. Okay, really important that you kind of see the addition and subtraction as together, so you work left to right, otherwise you get minus 22, I think, which is wrong. Okay, let's keep going. Write these numbers in order of size, starting with the smallest. So 42%, 3/8, and 0.402. So 0.402 is 40.2%. And 3/8. Probably the easiest way to do 3/8 is to think what 1/8 is as a percentage. So 100 divided by 8 is 1/8. So 8. So if you don't, this is kind of worth knowing this one. But if you don't know, 8 into 1 don't go. 8 into 10 go 1, remainder 2. 8 into 20 go twice, remainder 4. Decimal point. 8 into 40 go 5. So it's 12.5 is 1. So 3/8 equals 3 lots of that is 37.5%. Not the only way of doing that, but then it makes it obvious that 3/8 is the smallest. Then it's 0.402, and then it's 42%. So you could do 3/8 as a decimal. Go 8s into 3. 8s into 3 is 0. 8s into 30 is 3. 8s to 24, remainder 6. 8s into 60. 6 8s are 48. 7 8s are 56. 8s into 40 are 5. So that means that this is, as a decimal, is 0.375. This is a decimal is 0.42, and this is 0.402. And then you can put them in order like that. So a couple of ways to do that. 15% of 48 litres. So we haven't got a calculator here, so probably easiest to work out. We know 100% is 84. So 10% is going to be a tenth of that, which is 8.4. 5% is half of 10% is 4.2. So 15% is the two together, which is 12.6. Clara on the Jersey cow usually produces 48 litres of milk 84 litres of milk each day. Unfortunately, one day she feels poorly and produces 50% less milk. How much does Clara produce on that day? So they could have asked this question in one go, but they've given you a helping hand. So we've got 84 and she produces 12.6 less because you've already done this sum. Okay, 6 take away nothing you can't do, so we borrow from there. It's 4, 1, 7, 71.4. So the next one, write down the order of rotational symmetry of the shapes below. So this means how many times can you move it onto itself and it look exactly the same. So if we start this shape, the centre is here. You can use tracing paper, but you can imagine that you can turn this round once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, and get back to where we started. So 6 times. And then this one, we've got to go all the way around, so there's only one position where it's the same. Okay, so that has rotational symmetry, or it'll run, or often we say that has no rotational symmetry. Okay. 315 is a problem of prime factors using indices, so it doesn't divide by 2, so let's try 3. I think it will divide by 3. I don't know whether you know the little trick. If you do 3 plus 1 plus 5, that's 6, 9, and if that's divisible by 3, then you know it'll be divisible by 3. So 3's into this, so 3 is 103, so 103 and 3, 105 and 3, and then I know 5 goes into that, 5 goes into 100, 20 times that's 21, and 5, or it could have gone by 3 again, and then 3 and 7. That's a reasonably tricky one because there's no 2's in it, but we've got prime numbers there at the ends, so we've got 3 squared times 5 times 7. We could do the division method as well. Let me show you that. 315 divided by 3 is 105, divided by 3 is 35, divided by 5 is 7, divided by 7 is 1. Okay. How many times does 15 divide in? So 15 is made up of the 3 and the 5, so what's left, if you think of your factor pairs, is another 3 and a 7, so 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, work out the value of each of the symbols in the calculations below. 4.5 times 100 so this is going to be 450. 450. What do we have to do to divide that by 100? Well, we have to be 100 times bigger. So 45000. There we go. Oh, tricky. See, I would do this by algebra. I wouldn't do this by a trial and error method. I'd say I'm going to add 2 triangles to both sides, and I get 20 plus 3 triangles equals 80. And so I get 3 triangles equals 20, take 20 off both sides is 60, so a triangle equals 20. Now maybe you can think of a non-algebra way to do it, but so what do? We added 2 triangles to both sides, then we took 20 off both sides, then we divided by 3. Okay, you're told that 16632 divided by 56 is 297. Use this fact to work out 166.32 divided by 56. So the number that you're divided by is 100 times smaller. So the answer is going to be 100 times smaller, 2.97. The other thing that I would do just to check this is I would round this each number to one significant figure and just check that your answer makes sense. So this would be 200 divided by, this would be 60. Roughly, how many times does that go in? Roughly 3 to one significant figure. Okay, 2.97. There you go. That's my check. Okay, 29.7 times 56. So we know that 16632 divided by 56 equals 297. So turn that into a multiplication sum. We know that 16632 equals 297 times 56. That makes sense. That's the idea of what division and multiplication are. But now we're timesing these two numbers together, but this one's going to be a little bit smaller, 10 times smaller. So if this one's 10 times smaller, then the answer is 10 times smaller. So 163.2. Let's just check that that makes sense. One significant figure, that's 30. One significant figure, that's 60. Times those together, that's 18 with 2 zeros. So yeah, we're in the right magnitude here. That's my check. I've put my decimal point in the right place. Okay, moving on. Davy the donkey eats 3/7 of a bale of hay each day. How many bales of hay does he eat in 21 days? So 3/7 of a bale each day, so 21 times 3/7. Okay, so I'm going to do this the quick way. I'm going to put that over 1. And then I'm going to see that I can cancel across the multiplication sign here. 1 and 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's just going to be 9 there. Sammy the Shetland pony eats 2/5 of a bale each hay. How many days does it take him to eat 10 bales of hay? So I'm wanting to see how many 2/5 go into 10. So 10 divided by 2/5. How many 2/5 go into 10? That's what 10 divided by 2/5 means. And that equals 10 over 1. And we flip the second one, multiply and multiply. I've heard this called flip and kiss. If that helps you remember it. Okay, and then I can, across the multiplication, I can cancel. So 1 and 5. That gives me 25 over 1, so 25, which feels about right. Okay, more days than bales of hay. What fraction of a bale of hay do Sammy and Davy eat together in one day? So Davy eats 3/7, Sammy eats 2/5, so we've got to add those together. So we need a common denominator to add those. So in 35ths, something that 7 and 5 both goes into is 35. And then what do I have to times that by? Times that by 5, so I times the top by 5, so that's 15. And then the bottom one, so 3/7 is the same as 15 35ths, and then this one, 2/5. What do I have to multiply the 5 by? That's by 7. So I multiply the top by 7, I get 14. So 2/5 is the same as 14 35ths. So altogether I've got 29 35ths. Okay, and then who eats more, Sammy or Davy, by what fraction of a bale? Well, we can see here 15 and 14. So 15 was the 3/7, that was Davy. He eats more, but it's only by 1/35 of a bale. So nothing at all. Okay. given that A equals B, A equals 3, B equals -4, and C equals -5, find the value of this. So 4 times 3 plus 2 times -4. So that's 12. Doing my bid mass, plus -8. 12 plus -8, that's minus. So that's just 4. Plus -8 is like minusing. 3 times b squared is -4 squared, and I'm putting it in brackets so that it's clear that the -4 is squared as well, because that makes a difference. We square that and we get 16. 3 times 16, -4 times -4 is positive 16. 3 times 16, 3 10s are 30, 3 6s are 18, so that's 48. C minus 2b, so C is -5 minus 2 times -4 over A, which is 3. So on the top I've got -5 plus 8 over 3, which is plus 3 over 3, which is just going to give me 1. Then ABC over 10, so that's A3 times -4 minus 5 over 10. 4 times 5, -4 times -5 is 20, times 3 is 60, over 10 is just 6. And then finally, a common formula used in physics is S equals U plus V over 2 times T. This is the distance travelled. We've got a starting speed and an ending speed. Assuming it's constant acceleration, find the value of S. Well, S equals -5 plus 13 over 2 times 3. Brackets first, -5 plus 13 is 8 over 2 times 3. 8 over 2 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. There we go. Notice all the working that we're doing. Really important that you show your working. Okay, multiply out the brackets, so that means 4 lots of everything in the bracket, so that's 12a plus 4b. Not really another line of working that you can do for that. Make sure b's look like b's, not 6's. Okay, this one. So we've got first bit is 12a plus 4b minus an a and minus a b. So that's plus a b. There's the trick. That one. 12a minus an a, that gives me 11 a's. 4b plus a b is going to give me 5 b's. Fully factorise, so factorise is the opposite of multiply out, taking as much outside as I can. So I'm looking for the biggest thing that goes into both of those. That's 4. 4 times what gives 12, that's 3. 4 times what gives 4x, and that'll be just x. And there's my answer. If I'd only taken 2 out, that would be factorising, but it wouldn't be fully factorising. A perimeter has 12 plus 4x centimetres. What's the length of one side of the square? So the perimeter is all the way around, so we've got to divide that by 4. So if we divide that by 4, we've already kind of done the maths there. When it's over a plus sign, we've got to divide both of them by 4, so we get 3 plus x, and I want to see the simplified version there. Okay, P is drawn on the grid below. On the grid below, label the line x equals 1. So x equals 1 is there, but also there and there and there. So x equals 1 is this line here, drawn neatly with a ruler, not, but you will do. Reflect P in that line, so we're going to reflect it over here. So it's that. There, label a new shape Q. Translate P by 2 units to the left. 1, 2, and 4 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be the bottom left corner. And I'm just going to draw the rest of it in. I could do each of the points in turn, but I'm not going to. There we go, and label that one R. Okay, rotate the shape P 90 degrees clockwise with the coordinates -3, 2. Okay, so this is reasonably tricky without tracing paper, but I'll show you a way that you can do it without tracing paper. So that's where you would put your point and then trace this shape with the tracing paper. If you don't have tracing paper, draw, I find it easier, you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1. You draw that to that corner, and then that's quite an easy line to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Clock's move in that direction, so that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 1. So that will be my bottom corner. And then I can see that the whole thing will now be flat there as I pull it round, or I can do the other points the same way I did that point in different colours. So there we have it, and that's the shape S. What single transformation will move R to S? This is probably best done by trial and error, but it's got to rotate, so it's a rotation. Because we've got to turn it. And where's the centre and by how much? Well, it's a rotation 90 degrees clockwise. And then its centre, well, by trial and error, you're going to find that it's actually there. So centre -2, -1. There we go. There are some clever ways we can do it about drawing perpendicular bisectors of joining the equivalent points, but actually I find trial and error is just as effective and probably a lot quicker. Okay, a straight line has the equation y equals 2x minus 4. Complete the table of values. So that means there are a whole load of x values and you sub in the different x values to get the y value. So when x is -1, -1 times 2 is -2, -4 is -6. So we see what they're doing. 2 times 1 is 2, -4 is -2. The next one, 2 times 3 is 6. -4 is 2. It says it's a straight line, so these go up equally, these should go up equally as well. So now let's plot those points, draw and label this. So -1, -6, 1, -2, and 3, 2. So there we go, let's try and draw this. There we go, and we're going to label it y equals 2x minus 4. There we go. So the coordinates of 2 points are now 0y and x 0. So y equals minus a half, 3 minus a half x. So when x equals 0, y equals, so y equals 3 minus a half of 0. Half of 0 is 0, so y is 3. So when x is 0, y is 3. When x is 0, y is 3. So we can plot that point up there. Okay, then this one is a little trickier. When y is 0, this is 0. 3 minus a half of something is going to equal 0. So that x has got to be 6. So 3 minus a half of 6 is going to give you 0. So when x is 6, y is 0. Okay, so I've just added the last bit of this question. Draw the line on the grid opposite, so we can draw that through. There we can label that one y equals minus a half x. Write down the size of the angle between the lines. You can measure that. It's a 90-degree angle. We should meet it at that point there. Okay. Draw a line parallel to y equals 2x minus 4, which passes through 0, 4. So 0, 4, 0, 4 is this value here. It's got to be parallel to this one. So it's 4 horizontally. So you can just go 4 horizontally. 4 horizontally. So there you go. Got those 3 points. You can join all those up. And they will then give you your parallel line. Okay. Question 13. 4 regular polygons, 2 square, and equilateral triangle, and one of them meets at a point O. They're all regular. Work out the size of angle A. Well, an equilateral triangle is 60, the square is 90, so that's 90. So this is 90, 360, minus 90, minus 90, so that leaves you with 180, minus 60, leaves me with 120. How many sides has a polygon containing angle A? So, well, kind of the easiest way to think of this is to kind of redraw it and think, okay, I've got an interior angle of 120, that means I've got an exterior angle of 60. And how many exterior angles do I need? Well, 360 is the total of the exterior angles divided by 60, and that's 6. So this is a 6-sided shape. Okay. What's the name of a 6-sided shape? Well, you've got to learn all of these up to a decagon is a hexagon, is a 6-sided shape. Okay, question 14. 3 types of chocolate bar, 2 types of drink, 2 types of crisps. Katie likes all the items sold, so buys at random, so equal chance. Okay, so 3 types of chocolate bars, so we've got to fill in this with all of those, and then PP, QQ, PP, QQ, PP, and then SK, K, SK, SK, ASK, and that gives you all the options continuing the pattern there. Write down the probability that on Monday Kate buys a nutto, a quencher and a packet of snaps. Well, there must be only one of those. Nutto, a quencher and a packet of snaps. Yep, that's that one. And so that's 1 out of, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different options. It's 1/12. Buys a quencher. Quencher, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, so that's 6 out of 12, which we know is a half. A choco and a packet of crisps. Choco and crisps. 1, 2, 2 out of 12, which we can simplify to 1/6. On Tuesday, the school shop runs out of nuttos. Katie still buys at random 1 chocolate bar, 1 drink and 1 packet of crisps. Work out the probability Kate buys a milk bar and a packet of snaps. So we can effectively get rid of all of these options with nuttos. So we're just going to get rid of those ones. And the other ones that are left, so we've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that are left. Milko and a packet of snaps. Milko and snaps is there. Milko and snaps is there. So it's 2 out of 8, which is 1/4. Okay. So Mrs. Jones teaches a class of children aged 5, 6 or 7. In a class there are n children aged 5. The number of children aged 6 is twice the number aged 5. So that's n times 2. We won't get the marks unless we write that as 2n. The number of children aged 7 is 4 less than the number of age 5, and the age 5 was n, so n, and we take away 4. There isn't really any other way to write that, so we write that as n, take away 4. Write down an equation to represent this information as simply as possible. In total there are 20 children, so there's n, and there's 2n, and there's n minus 4, and that equals 20. And we've got to simplify that because it says write it as simply as possible, so there's 4n minus 4 equals 20. So we're not solving it, we're just writing down it as a simplified equation. Solve your equation to work out the value of n. So 4n minus 4 equals 20. So I would add 4 to both sides. I'm trying to get the n on its own. So I get 4n. I've added 4, so that goes away. I add 4, so that becomes 24. I then divide both sides by 4. So I get n equals, divide that side by 6. So n is 6. Work out the total of the ages of all the children in Mrs. Jones' class. The total of all the ages. Well, there's 6 children aged 5. So 6 children aged 5. There's 2n, so there's 12 children aged 6. And aged 7, there is 2 children aged 7. So the total of the 5-year-olds is going to be 30. The total of those is going to be 72, and the total of those is going to be 14. So altogether that's 102 or 116. That's the total of all of those. Okay. The diagram below shows a square-based pyramid, side 6 and then side 5. So use a pair of compasses to construct this. So you want the triangles that are going to be here to be 5 centimeters long from each of here. So it's 5 centimeters along the diagonals. So if I do my 5 centimeters here, then I'm going to do an arc with there from B, and I'm going to do the same from C, and I get that point there. If you do it accurately, it's exactly on that point there. So then I know that is my triangle that I've got to draw. And we go around and we do exactly the same on this one. C and D, do the same here. And they want to see the arcs. They're part of the marks that you'll get for this question, is seeing those marks drawn in. And there you have it. There's your really accurate net. It'll also be a bit nicer than mine because you've got a ruler and a pair of compasses. So yeah, so you get 1 mark for the marks there, for the arcs. And then by taking suitable measurements, work out the area of the triangle. So I work out the area of the triangle A, V, B. So they want this one here. So we want to know this measurement here because it's base times the height. So the base is, that's going to be 6. And on centimetres squared paper, that's going to be 4. If it's reduced, those won't be centimetres, but you can see it's 4 squares, so that's going to be 4. So triangle is half, don't forget the half, otherwise it messes you up. Half the base times the height, so that's going to be 12. You can count the squares to just check that's roughly right. Work out the total area of the net. So we've got 12 times 4 plus 6 times 6 is 48 plus 36 is 70, 84. And there we have it. Paper done. I hope that was useful.